in Theravadan countries, it's Vesak, or however that's pronounced, which is on the full moon of Vesaka, or I think the fourth lunar month.
Goku,
Yeah,
only see you up to here.
I know. Well, I'm trying to record, but it's not working. It says it started. Okay. Theravadan countries, it's Vesak, or however that's pronounced.
There we go.
Which is on
the 14-second delay.
That'll be that.
That is so freaky.
But I know that Om likes to watch it on YouTube, so she's not recorded. And
Izzy's taking the precepts with us today.
Oh,
he's long cat.
That's a long cat. That's a big cat.
That is a long cat, I think.
I just realized as I was getting ready for this today that if we keep doing this every month, my plant is gonna literally end up without leaves. Because I keep pulling one out every single month, and I'm like, my poor baby. And she's struggling so much to survive me. Surviving me is already an accomplishment.
I know, so we're not doing well saving sentient beings when it comes to plant matter.
I mean, look at it. I mean,
I use the same bit every week, every month. It's like a evergreen. It just never seems to die.
I've been going out and picking something from outside.
Yeah, but you've got a forest. Not everyone's got a forest, Sekashi.
Well, actually, the leaf that I have this month is from the yellow crownbeard, so it's not a tree.
Well, there you go.
Look at mine is pretty.
Oh, that's
yours
nice.
Is prettier.
Beyond, if you have to get a plastic plant, I won't tell anyone.
I refuse. We don't play that in this house.
You'll have to find a park.
Oh, there's a park, but it sort of feels nice to sacrifice something of my own.
I agree. That said, having picked a bit from my neighbour's hedge. Yeah. I can't pick any of mine. I've grown my nice herbs. Maybe I could. Maybe later on in the summer there'll be lots of mint. And I can be sprinkling myself with something very minty fresh.
Yeah, all the mint here is about this tall now. It's like really shooting up now that it's getting warm.
Excellent. Have you got it in a confined area?
No, everything here is natural. We planted mint at our last house. We planted lemon verbena, chocolate mint. Like we planted like 8 varieties of mint. Eventually the lemon verbena just said, all mine. It took it all over.
I planted mint a few months ago, and me being me, what happened was that the mint rotted because I watered it too much, and I infested my house with little flies, and then I had like a war with flies for like 6 months, until I ended up like repotting every single plant in the house, and I have a lot of them.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, so no more mint for me, thank you.
Sekashi, how do we normally do this? Do I put myself on speak of you?
No, I think you're fine just leaving it as it is. I mean, that's what we've done in the past, I think, is just do it with the whatever the opposite of speaker view is. Gallery view, that's it.
Yeah, that's fine. It is ridiculous. Every month I come and it's like I've never done it before. It's like starting again, the whole thing. How did I do this last time?
It's a good thing we value beginner's mind.
I think it's a good thing. But there you go. So, hello everyone, and welcome again to our Ryaku Fusatsu ceremony to celebrate the full moon, the passing of another lunar month of practice and life. And as I was saying earlier, today in Theravadan countries is Vesak, when they celebrate the Buddha's birth, which is on the full moon of the 4th lunar month. And that falls today. And as we were saying, we did it a little while ago on April the 8th with Hanamatsuri. But hey, the feeling is still the same when we celebrate the birth of the Buddha. And as Jundo would say, every day is the Buddha's birthday. So this month I've just got a little something I'm going to read before we start from the Mullapasattha Sutra in the Anguttara Nikaya. And what this is said to be the roots of the Upasattha day and the Upasattha ceremony, which is the full moon ceremony to recount, describe, and recommit to the precepts. And the Buddha said, "What is the Upasattha of the noble ones? It is the cleansing of the defiled mind. There is the case where the disciple of the noble ones recollects the Tathagata thus: indeed, the Blessed One is worthy and rightly self-awakened, consummate in knowledge and conduct, well gone, an expert with regard to the world, unexcelled as a trainer for those people fit to be tamed, the teacher of divine and human beings, awakened, blessed. As he is recollecting the Tathagata, his mind is calmed and joy arises. The defilements of his mind are abandoned. There is the case where the disciple of the noble ones recollects the Dhamma thus: the Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One, to be seen here and now, timeless, inviting verification, pertinent to be realized by the wise for themselves. As he is recollecting the Dhamma, his mind is calmed and joy arises. The defilements of his mind are abandoned. There is the case where the disciple of the noble ones recollects the Sangha thus: the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples who have practiced well, who have practiced straightforwardly, who have practiced methodically, who have practiced masterfully. They are the Sangha of the Blessed One's disciples, worthy of gifts, worthy of hospitality, worthy of offerings, worthy of respect, the incomparable field of merit for the world. As he is recollecting the Sangha, his mind is calmed and joy arises. The defilements of his mind are abandoned. And that was the Buddha's rationale behind this day. It was a day to think of the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and all of those precepts which bind us together. So, without further ado, we shall begin. And something I'm going to do, which Jundo has done before, and he suggested this is a good thing to practice on behalf of the people of the Sangha, this Sangha and the wider Sangha who have physical health challenges, is instead of doing the initial bows and offerings, standing up and walking, instead I shall do the bow sitting and convey the walking that would have been done with my fingers. So if you wonder what I'm doing, this is what's happening. So the first bows I do alone, and then later on, after the incense lighting and the bell roll down, I think you know what I mean by the roll down, yeah. Then we all do the 3 prostrations before sitting zazen. Okay, thank you. And before we get started on ceremony, we should just take a period of sitting 5 minutes in Zazen just to bring our bodies and minds to this place here and now. Thank you. Ryaku Fusatsu is a ceremony of confession, atonement, and recommitment to the precepts. So we begin with our usual verse of atonement, but instead of our usual once through, we recite it 3 times in accordance with the purpose of this particular ceremony. So hands in gasho. All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. We now invoke the presence of the Buddhas as symbols of perfect activity, of the embodiment of the precepts and Buddha practice. We all recite together. Homage to the 7 Buddhas of the past, as symbols of our connection through time. Homage to Shakyamuni Buddha, a person of this earth. Homage to Miroku Buddha, symbol of hope for the future. Homage to Monju Bodhisattva, symbol of great wisdom. Homage to Fugen Bodhisattva, symbol of great activity. Homage to Kanzeon Bodhisattva, symbol of great compassion. Homage to the successive generations of ancestor Bodhisattvas. And in keeping with that, we now ourselves rededicate ourselves to the 4 vows of the Bodhisattva, as usual, reciting together. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable. And now for my favorite part, where Beyond gets to put his bit of vegetation to good use, and we sprinkle ourselves with a ritual purification of water to symbolically cleanse ourselves of wrongdoing and unskillful action that we might have undertaken the last month. No, let's not be too eager. Okay, so if you could gently flick yourself with a piece of vegetation or with your fingers 3 times. There you go. You're now symbolically cleansed. And following on from that, we recite from the Brahmajala Sutra to remind us of the importance of the precepts. And if you hold your hands, don't go in Gasho just yet. I just say the first line and then we hold our hands in Gasho after that. All you disciples of the Buddha, join your palms in reverence and listen wholeheartedly. Now you can Gasho. I would now like to articulate the preface to the great precepts of the Buddhas. If the members of the assembly will quietly listen, and they know that they have done wrong, they will atone. If they atone, they will be at ease. If they do not repent, their wrongdoing will grow more grievous. Those who have done wrong are silent, and because of their silence, you should know they are all purified. Dear members of the Sangha, listen well in this difficult age, when the lifetime of the Buddha sometimes seems distant. You should revere the Pratimoksha. The Pratimoksha is none other than these precepts. When you observe these precepts, it is like darkness meeting with light. It is like someone poor attaining a treasure. It is like someone who is ill being healed. It is like a prisoner being released from his chains. It is like a traveler who is able to return home. You should know that these rules are the great teacher for this assembly of people. No difference from the presence of the Buddha in the world here and now. Thoughts of fear are difficult to produce. Unwholesome thoughts are difficult to give rise to in his presence. Therefore, a sutra says, do not trivialize minor misdeeds as if they are not problematic. Drops of water, though tiny, will gradually fill a large basin. A single instance of wrongdoing can lead you to fall into a hell of uninterrupted suffering. Once you lose your body, you may not get another for 10,000 kalpas. Just as a galloping horse passes by swiftly, one's physical strength will not remain. The transience of human life goes beyond the mountains and seas. Even if something remains for the duration of one day, it will be quite difficult to hold on to it tomorrow. Members of the assembly should each energetically advance their own minds. Be careful not to be lazy, negligent, drowsy, or arbitrary. In the evening, you must gather your thoughts and focus them firmly on the three treasures. Don't take as being a waste of time the effort to deepen your repentance for those of later generations. Members of the assembly, each of you in your own minds should carefully rely on these precepts. Discipline yourselves in the practices that accord with the Buddha's teachings. And we now recite all 16 of the Zen precepts, beginning with the Three Refuges, reciting together in Gasho. Respectful devotion to Buddha, respectful devotion to Dharma, respectful devotion to Sangha, devotion to Buddha, the Supreme One, devotion to Dharma, the supreme purity and teaching, devotion to Sangha, the supreme community, perfect devotion to Buddha, perfect devotion to Dharma, perfect devotion to Sangha. And we continue with the three pure precepts, hands staying in Gasho. Today I reaffirm my commitment to seek as I can in this body and life to avoid doing harm, to seek as I can in this body and life to live in a healthful and helping way, doing good, to seek as I can in this body and life to live for the benefit of all sentient beings. And now, in the same way, the 10 fundamental precepts. Today I reaffirm my commitment to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from the killing of life, to seek as I can in this body and life to live in generosity and refrain from taking that which is not given, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from misusing sexuality and all desire, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from false and malicious speech, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from intoxication in its many forms, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from unconstructively criticizing the errors and faults of others, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from praising oneself and judging others, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from stinginess in bestowing the Buddhist teachings and all precious things, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from all anger, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from disparaging the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. abiding in this ephemeral world. May we exist in muddy water with purity like a lotus. Nothing escapes the boundless mind. Thus, we bow to Buddha.
Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, reality existing right here now. In reaffirming our commitments to the precepts, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha Honored One, the historical Buddha and teacher, to the all-pervading and everlasting three treasures, to all arhats and bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, and their relations throughout the Dharma worlds. May our sincere vows to accomplish and live the enlightened way be realized together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, Prajna Paramita.
Thank you all so much. That was lovely. I really enjoyed that. I think we're getting more into the swing of how it goes, and Sekshi and I managed to work on the choreography. So, and thank you all for your input as well in not wanting to make it any longer. I think you're right. It's fine as it is. Why fix something when it isn't broken? So yes, thank you very much for your presence, your practice, and your recommitment. And I'll see you around Sangha. See you later. Take care.
Thank you all.
Thank you.